Okay, so what we're going to do right now, we're going to go through 8 problems to where some students struggle with seeing the relationship that they're asking for. They struggle with the question and understanding if we're actually looking for frequency. Frequency is the total or relative frequency, which represents the actual percent. So again, frequency is the total and the relative frequency is the percent. So let's go through 8 problems. Shouldn't take that long. It says in a survey in Springfield, citizens were asked whether they voted yes or no to build a new playground at the park. The table shows the results. Of the yes votes, what percent to the nearest percent came from males? So of the yes votes, okay, I'm gonna get a highlighter real quick. Of the yes votes, of the yes votes. So that means I'm only looking at the yes votes. These are the yes votes. What percent were male? Because it says what percent. So, how many yes votes were there? There were 85 yes votes. Of those 85 yes votes, what percent to the nearest percent were males? 35 of the 85 yes votes were male. So we do 35 divided by 85, which give us 0.41, 1 for 1, 1. That 1 will keep that 1 a 1. Move it over twice, 41%. Okay, let's look at the next one. In the survey, same Springfield citizens, same question. Of the female votes, what percent to the nearest percent were no votes? Of the female votes. Of the female votes, everybody. Female. Of the female votes. Trying to emphasize that. What percent were no votes? What percent were no votes? So, of the female votes, there are 67 females. Of that percent, what were no votes? So 17 out of 67 gives us 0.253. That 3 will keep that 5 a 5. So we get 25%. All right, let's turn the page. The data below show the number of t-shirts sold at a high school. What is the relative frequency of Navy t-shirts sold? Relative frequency is the percent, everybody. That's what relative frequency is. What is the relative frequency of the Navy t-shirts sold? So, to find the relative frequency of Navy t-shirts sold, we need to find all the t-shirts sold. And all the t-shirts represents the frequency. Sometimes we have to extend the table to include what we're missing. So there's 10, 32, makes 42. So there are 50 Navy t-shirts sold out of 35 plus 38. 35 plus 3 is 38. And then there's 38 red. So what is the relative frequency of Navy t-shirts sold? 50 out of how many total t-shirts? 88, which will give us 0.568. That 8 rounds that 6 up to a 7, so 57%. Gotta hurry up. I don't want to keep y'all here all day. The data below shows the number, same thing. What is the relative frequency of red t-shirts sold to Navy t-shirts sold? Okay, so we just basically do the same thing. Okay, we got the information there. Let's move on to the next question. All right. Number 5, because I don't want to make this video too long. Okay, what is the relative frequency to the nearest percent of medium-sized t-shirts that are red? Medium size, medium size. So what do we look at first? The medium size, y'all. The first thing that is said gives us our first stipulation. Medium size t-shirts that are what? Red. So if I extend the table, the frequency of medium t-shirts would be 32 plus 20 gives us 52. That's the frequency of that. And then what's the relative frequency is the percent. So out of the 52 t-shirts that are medium, 20 are red. So 20 over 52 gives us 0.384. That 4 will keep that 8 and 8, 38%. Okay, which of the following statements is best supported by the data in the table? Eighth grade students are most likely to prefer English as their favorite subject. Okay, so eighth grade students, out of what's the frequency of eighth grade students that prefer English? 10 out of 32, so we know that's wrong. Of the students whose favorite subject is history, there are a higher frequency of seventh graders than eighth graders. Frequency, this means total, everybody. It's not relative frequency. When you see the word relative in front of it, that means percent. Frequency means total. So of the students whose favorite subject is history, there is a higher frequency of seventh graders than eighth graders. Favorite subject is history. There's a higher frequency of seventh graders than there are eighth graders. That's wrong. That's 12 and that's 24. All right. Other students whose favorite subject is math, there is a lower frequency of seventh graders than eighth graders. Math, lower frequency of seventh graders than eighth graders. That is definitely true. So we know the answer is C. Let's see why D is wrong. The seventh grade students are most likely to prefer science as their favorite subject. We know 17 to 45. That's wrong. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Last two, everybody, and I'm done. Okay, what percent to the nearest percent of the people in Arkansas are rich? Okay, this table shows about the people in Arkansas. Okay, so what percent to the nearest percent of the people in Arkansas? That's the first stipulation. People in Arkansas, out of all the people, which represents this frequency. So I need to do 402 plus 610 and get 1012. Okay. Of that 1012 people, what percent or relative frequency of the people are rich? So there's 42 out of 1012 people. 30.397. That 7 is going to round that 9 up to a 40 to 0, which rounds it up to 40%. The relative of the people surveyed, what is the relative frequency that are poor? It's too early, I can't even read. Of all the people surveyed, what is the relative frequency that are poor? So I need to add up all these numbers because I need to find all. So I got to add up the rich. I can do this way, horizontal or vertical, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to do horizontal because vertical because it'll help me out. So 402 plus 375 will give me 777. And then 610 plus 427 will give me 1037. The reason I did this way because we want to find out all the people that are poor. So 1037 plus 777 gives me 1814. And out of those 1814, how many people are poor? 1037. And that gives me 0.571. That 1 keeps that 7 the same. So we get 57%. All right, people, those are the things people struggle with, like I'm struggling to talk this morning, but hopefully you got it. All right, have a great day. And like always, it's been a pleasure being your video teacher, and I pray you have a great day, Mr. O'Neill. I'm out of here.